want to spend the rest of my life with you.
At the center of the grand hall, the city's most powerful men and women gathered around him, glasses raised, cameras flashing. The air smelled of wealth, power, and ambition. Tonight was supposed to seal everything: his engagement to Vanessa Hart, daughter of a billionaire investor, the final step to securing a deal that would make him untouchable. He reached for the ring. Vanessa smiled, her eyes glowing with pride as she stepped closer. The crowd leaned in, phones lifted. This was the moment. Then the doors creaked open. It was subtle at first, almost nothing. But Adrian saw her. His fingers froze mid-air. A woman in a cleaner's uniform stepped quietly into the hall, holding a tray like she belonged there. No one paid attention, no one except him. Because he knew that face. Because he had tried to forget it. Her eyes met his. Calm, unshaken, certain. And then she spoke. "Congratulations, husband." The glass slipped from someone's hand and shattered. The entire hall went silent. Vanessa's smile disappeared slowly, like something being erased. "What did she just say?" someone whispered. Adrian didn't answer. He couldn't. Maya stepped forward, placing the tray on a nearby table as if she had all the time in the world, as if she hadn't just destroyed his life with a single sentence. Vanessa turned to him, confusion tightening her face. "Adrian, what is she talking about?" His jaw clenched. "Nothing. She's mistaken." Maya let out a soft laugh, not loud, not dramatic, just enough to cut through the silence. "Mistaken?" she repeated, tilting her head slightly. "That's interesting." Adrian finally found his voice, cold, sharp. "Security." Two guards moved instantly toward her. "Remove her." Maya didn't move. She simply reached into her pocket and pulled something out. A ring, the same design, the same engraving, the same ring Adrian was holding. Gasps rippled across the room. Vanessa stepped back, her eyes darting between the two rings, her breathing quickening. "Adrian, why does she have that?" Adrian's mind raced. This wasn't supposed to happen. She wasn't supposed to come back. Maya lifted her hand slightly, letting the light catch the ring. "You gave me this," she said quietly. "Or did you forget?" The guards hesitated now, unsure. The crowd was no longer whispering as they were watching, recording, waiting. Vanessa's voice trembled. "Adrian, say something." He swallowed hard, forcing control back into his tone. "This is a misunderstanding. She's trying to cause a scene." Maya stepped closer. Every step felt like a countdown. "Then explain it," she said simply. Adrian's eyes darkened. "This is not the place." Maya's lips curved slightly. "Oh, I think it is." The tension snapped. Phones were fully up now. People were no longer hiding their curiosity. This was no longer an engagement party. It was a spectacle. Maya turned slightly, her voice just loud enough for everyone to hear. "Maybe I should introduce myself properly," she said. "My name is Maya Cole." The name hit like a bomb. Cole. Vanessa's face went pale. That's your last name," she whispered to Adrian. Silence. Heavy, crushing silence. And Adrian said nothing, because he couldn't deny it, because it was true. Maya smiled faintly, her eyes never leaving his. "Surprise." Before we go any further, if this story already has you hooked, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below, because this is just the beginning. Vanessa stepped back again, shaking her head slowly. No, this is not happening. Adrian, tell them she's lying." Adrian exhaled slowly, trying to regain control. "Everyone, please. This is clearly a setup. Someone is trying to sabotage." "Are you going to lie again?" Maya cut in. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was enough to stop him. Enough to make everyone listen. She reached into her pocket again and pulled out a folded document. "Should I read it out?" she asked softly. Adrian's eyes flashed with warning. "Don't." Maya raised an eyebrow. "Why not? It's just paperwork, right?" Vanessa grabbed Adrian's arm. "What is she talking about?" He didn't respond, because he knew exactly what that paper was. And if she read it, everything would be over. Maya unfolded it slowly, deliberately, letting the tension stretch. "Marriage certificate," she said. The words landed like a hammer. Gasps, louder this time. Vanessa's grip on Adrian tightened. "You're married?" Adrian finally snapped. "It was nothing." The room froze again. Wrong answer. Maya's expression didn't change, but something in her eyes hardened. "Nothing," she repeated. He ran a hand through his hair, frustration breaking through his control. "It was years ago. It didn't mean anything. It was just a situation." Maya nodded slowly, as if considering his words. "A situation," she echoed. Vanessa pulled her hand away from him as if burned. "You told me you've never been married." "I handled it," Adrian said quickly. "It's over." Maya let out another quiet laugh. "Over?" she said. She took a step closer to him now, close enough that only he could see the shift in her eyes. "You really believe that?" His voice dropped. "What do you want?" There it was, the real question. Maya tilted her head slightly, studying him. "Do you really think I came all this way for money?" she asked. Adrian's jaw tightened. "Everyone has a price." Maya's smile faded. "That's where you're wrong." The air between them changed. This wasn't a desperate woman. This wasn't someone begging. This was something else entirely, something controlled, something dangerous. Vanessa's voice cut through again, louder now, more desperate. "Adrian, fix this. Say something. Do something." But Adrian couldn't take his eyes off Maya, because something wasn't adding up. She wasn't angry enough. She wasn't emotional enough. She wasn't reacting the way someone in her position should, and that scared him more than anything. Maya turned slightly, addressing the room again. "I didn't come here to ruin a party," she said calmly. "That would be too easy." A murmur spread again. Too easy? What did that mean? Adrian felt it then, for the first time in years. Uncertainty. "What are you doing, Maya?" he asked quietly. She looked back at him, and for a brief moment, something flickered in her eyes. Not anger, not pain, something deeper. "I'm just getting started," she said. And in that moment, Adrian realized something that made his chest tighten. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't an accident. This was planned, carefully, patiently, and whatever was coming next, it was going to be worse. Much worse. Vanessa's laugh came out sharp and broken, like glass cracking under pressure. "Getting started?" she repeated, her voice rising. "What does that even mean? You think you can just walk in here, ruin everything, and speak in riddles?" Maya didn't respond immediately. She simply looked at Vanessa and really looked at her for the first time. Not with jealousy, not with anger, but with quiet assessment. "You must be Vanessa," she said calmly. Vanessa straightened, trying to reclaim control. "And you must be delusional." A few nervous chuckles echoed around the room, but they died quickly. No one wanted to miss what was happening. Maya gave a small nod, as if accepting the insult without resistance. "I've heard a lot about you," she said. Vanessa scoffed. "From who? Him?" She gestured toward Adrian. "Because clearly he left out a few important details about you." Adrian stepped forward, his voice low and firm. "That's enough." Maya's eyes flicked, back to him. "No," she said quietly. "It's not enough, not even close." The weight of her words settled heavily in the room. Adrian inhaled slowly, trying to steady himself. You've made your point. Now leave. Maya smiled faintly. You still think this is about making a scene? She said. What else would it be? He snapped. She took a step closer again, her voice dropping just enough that only he could feel the edge of it. A correction. Adrian frowned. Correction of what? Maya held his gaze. Your memory. Something about the way she said it sent a ripple of unease through him. Vanessa crossed her arms, her patience gone. All right, I've had enough of this. Adrian, either you explain what's going on right now, or I walk out of here and trust me. When I walk, so does my father's investment. That got the room's attention. Adrian turned to her quickly. Vanessa, don't do this here. Then where? She shot back. Because, apparently, I'm the only one in this room who didn't know I was getting engaged to a married man. Murmurs erupted again. Adrian clenched his fists. This was spiraling too fast. Maya, he said, his tone hardening, whatever game you're playing, stop, now. For a brief second, her expression shifted. Not fear, no hesitation, disappointment. A game, she echoed softly. She shook her head slowly. You always reduce everything to transactions, don't you? She said. Deals, moves, strategies. That's how the world works, Adrian replied coldly. Maya's eyes darkened slightly. No, she said. That's how your world works. Silence again. Heavy, uncomfortable. Vanessa let out a frustrated breath. You know what? I don't care about your philosophical debate. I want answers. She turned to Maya directly. If you're really his wife, then prove it beyond that paper. Maya didn't hesitate. All right. She turned back to Adrian. Tell them, she said. His jaw tightened. Tell them what? The truth, she replied simply. Adrian let out a short, humorless laugh. You're asking me to humiliate myself in front of everyone? Maya's gaze didn't waver. I'm asking you to stop lying. The room felt smaller now, tighter. Adrian looked around briefly at the guests, the cameras, the investors. Everything he had built was standing on the edge of collapse, and she was the one holding the final push. He leaned in slightly, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. You're making a mistake. Maya's lips curved faintly. No, I already made that mistake years ago. That hit him, harder than he expected. For a split second, something flickered in his eyes. Memory. But it was gone just as quickly. Vanessa stepped forward again, her voice trembling with anger now. Enough of this. I'm done standing here like a fool. She turned to Adrian. Did you marry her? The question hung in the air, simple, direct, unavoidable. Adrian closed his eyes briefly, then opened them. Yes. The word landed like a bomb. Vanessa staggered back slightly as if physically struck. Gasps filled the room. Someone dropped their phone. And just like that, everything changed. Vanessa shook her head, tears forming but not falling. Unbelievable, you lied to me. This entire time you lied. It wasn't like that, Adrian said quickly. Oh, really? She snapped. Then what was it like, Adrian? Enlighten me. He hesitated, and that hesitation said everything. Maya watched the exchange silently, her face unreadable. Vanessa let out a bitter laugh. I should have known. Everything with you is calculated. Even this engagement, it's just another deal, isn't it? Adrian's silence stretched again. Wrong move. Vanessa nodded slowly, her expression hardening. We're done. The words echoed, clear, final. And then she turned and walked away. Just like that, the deal, the alliance, gone. Adrian took a step forward instinctively. Vanessa? Don't, she said without turning back. Don't follow me. Don't call me. Don't even say my name again. The doors slammed behind her. The sound felt louder than it should, final, irreversible. The room was no longer just watching. They were witnessing a collapse. Adrian stood still, his chest rising and falling slowly as reality began to settle in. Then he turned to Maya, all restraint gone. "You've done enough," he said, his voice low but shaking with restrained anger. "You made your point. Now get out." Maya tilted her head slightly. "Why are you still trying to control this?" she asked calmly. "Because this is my life," he snapped. "My company, my reputation, everything you just destroyed." Maya's expression didn't change. "I didn't destroy anything," she said. "I revealed it." That only made him angrier. "You think this is over?" he said. "You think walking in here and pulling a stunt like this gives you power?" Maya took a step closer again, and for the first time there was a hint of something sharper in her tone. "You still don't understand, do you?" Adrian frowned. "Understand what?" She held his gaze. "This isn't the end," she said. A pause, then, "It's the beginning." Something in her voice made his stomach tighten. Not fear, not exactly, but instinct, the kind that warns you when you're already too deep into something you can't escape. Adrian forced a scoff, though it lacked confidence now. "You've already done the worst you can." Maya smiled, and this time it wasn't soft. "You really believe that?" she asked. Adrian didn't respond, because suddenly he wasn't so sure anymore. Maya glanced around the room briefly, taking in the faces, the whispers, the cameras still recording every second. Then she leaned in slightly, her voice just for him. "You lost Vanessa tonight," she said quietly. "That was just collateral damage." His eyes narrowed. "What are you talking about?" Maya straightened, and her next words landed slowly, deliberately. "I didn't come for her." A pause. Then, "I came for you." The weight of that sentence settled deep, cold, unavoidable. And for the first time since she walked in, Adrian felt it clearly. This wasn't chaos, this was strategy, and he was already behind. "If you think this is intense already, just wait, because what's coming next will change everything. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment below." Do you think Adrian deserves this? Or is Maya going too far? Because of this. This is only getting worse. Maya picked up her tray again like nothing had happened, like she hadn't just torn his life apart in front of everyone. And without another word, she turned and walked out, leaving behind silence, shock, and a man who was just beginning to realize. He had no idea who she had become. The doors closed behind Maya with a soft click. But the silence she left behind was deafening. No one spoke, no one moved. Adrian stood in the center of the room, surrounded by people who, just minutes ago, had admired him, respected him, envied him. Now they were watching him differently, whispering, judging, recording. The shift was instant and brutal. He exhaled slowly, forcing himself to regain control. "The event is over," he said, his voice sharp, authoritative. "Everyone, please leave." No one argued. They didn't need to. They had already gotten what they came for, and more. One by one, they began to file out, murmuring to each other, phones still in hand, already spreading the story beyond those walls. By the time the last guest left, the damage was already out there, irreversible. Adrian turned abruptly. "Shut the doors." The staff moved quickly, sealing the hall. Only a handful of his inner circle remained board members, senior executives, people whose opinions actually mattered. And judging by their faces, this was far from over. One of the board members, Mr. Lawson, stepped forward, his expression tight. "Care to explain what just happened?" Adrian didn't answer immediately. He walked toward the bar instead, poured himself a drink, and downed it in one go, then another. Only then did he turn. "It's under control," he said. A few of them exchanged glances. Clearly, they didn't believe that. "Under control?" A woman named Claire scoffed. "You're wife just walked into your engagement party and exposed you in front of investors, media, and partners. How exactly is that under control? Adrian's jaw tightened. It was a marriage of convenience, years ago. It has no legal or emotional significance now. That's not what it looked like, Lawson replied. Adrian's patience snapped slightly. What it looked like is irrelevant. What matters is what we do next. Claire crossed her arms. What we do next depends on what she does next. That word again. She. Maya. Adrian's grip tightened around the glass. She's nothing, he said, but even as he said it, he knew it wasn't true. Because nothing walks into a room like that and takes everything down in minutes. Lawson studied him carefully. Do you have any idea what she wants? Adrian hesitated, then shook his head. That alone made the room colder. Claire let out a slow breath. That's a problem. Not for long, Adrian replied. I'll handle her. How? Lawson pressed. Adrian's eyes hardened. The way I handle everything. The confidence in his voice sounded familiar, but something underneath it wasn't. Claire noticed it too. You're not as sure as you sound, she said quietly. Adrian didn't respond, because she was right, and he hated that. Lawson adjusted his glasses. There's another issue. Adrian looked at him. What? The media. As if on cue, one of the Yakuza assistants rushed in, holding a tablet. Sir, you need to see this. Adrian snatched it from her. Headlines were already flooding in. CEO exposed in engagement scandal. Secret wife crashes billion-dollar union. Adrian Cole's double life revealed. Videos were trending, clips of Maya's voice, her face, that moment. Congratulations, husband. Over and over again. Adrian's expression darkened. This spreads any further, Lawson said carefully, and investors will start pulling out. Claire added, not to mention Vanessa's family. Adrian slammed the tablet onto the table. Vanessa is no longer relevant. Claire raised an eyebrow. Her father controls half the funding for your expansion deal. Silence. Adrian looked away briefly, then back. I'll find another investor. Lawson shook his head slightly. Not with this kind of publicity. The reality was closing in now. Fast. Adrian turned, pacing slowly, his mind racing. No. This wasn't over. This couldn't be how it ended. Not like this. Not because of her. He stopped abruptly. Find her, he said. The room stilled. Claire frowned. What? Maya, he said. Find her. Now. The next morning came faster than he expected. Adrian hadn't slept. He sat in his office, staring at the city through the glass walls, the headlines still fresh in his mind. His phone buzzed constantly. Calls, messages, threats disguised as concerns. He ignored them all. A knock came at the door. Come in. His assistant stepped in cautiously. Sir, we found her. Adrian turned slowly. Where? She's here. His eyes narrowed. What do you mean, here? She just walked into the building. Adrian's stomach tightened. Of course she did. He let out a slow breath. Send her in. A few moments later, the door opened again, and Maya walked in. But something was different, very different. She wasn't in a cleaner's uniform anymore. She wore a simple, elegant outfit, nothing flashy, but enough to command presence. Her posture was straight. Her expression is calm, controlled, like she belonged there, like she always had. Adrian watched her carefully as she stepped inside and closed the door behind her. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then, Adrian broke the silence. You've made your move, he said. Now talk. Maya walked further into the room, her gaze briefly scanning the office before settling back on him. You still think this is a game of moves, she said. What else would it be? He replied. She stopped a few feet away from his desk. Truth, she said simply. Adrian almost laughed. Truth doesn't crash engagement parties. No, Maya agreed. It waits. That word again, waits. Something about it unsettled him. How long? He asked suddenly. Maya tilted her head. How long is it? How long have you been planning this? He clarified. She held his gaze. A while, not specific, not detailed, just enough to make it worse. Adrian leaned forward slightly. You disappeared for years, no contact, no demands, nothing. And now suddenly you show up and… What? Decide to ruin everything? Maya's expression didn't change. I didn't disappear, she said. You expect me to believe that? He scoffed. I expect you to remember, she replied. That hit something, faint, distant. But before he could grasp it, she continued. You left, she said. Not me. Adrian's jaw tightened. I ended something that was never meant to last. Maya nodded slowly. Yes, she said. You ended it. A pause. Then, but you never closed it. Adrian frowned. What does that mean? Maya stepped closer. Close enough now that her presence felt unavoidable. It means, she said quietly, you walked away without finishing what you started. Adrian's patience snapped again. Stop speaking in riddles. Maya's eyes locked onto his. And this time, there was no softness left in them. Then let me be clear, she said. A beat. Then, you're still married to me. The words hung there, heavy, unavoidable. Adrian exhaled sharply. That can be fixed. Maya's lips curved faintly. Can it? She asked. Yes, he said firmly. Divorce papers, lawyers. It's simple. Maya shook her head slowly. No, she said. It's not. Adrian frowned. Why not? And then she said something that made his entire body go still. Because I never signed anything. Silence, cold, sharp. Adrian stared at her. That's not possible. It is, she said calmly. I had it handled, he insisted. Maya took another small step forward. Did you? She asked. His mind raced. Documents, lawyers, processes. He had assumed it was done. He had never checked. Because of him, she was already gone, already irrelevant. Maya watched the realization slowly settle in his eyes. And for the first time, there it was, control shifting. You built an empire, she said softly. But you forgot one detail. Adrian didn't speak because he already knew what she was about to say. You're still tied to me, she finished. And just like that, the foundation he stood on didn't feel as solid anymore. Adrian stared at her like the ground beneath him had just shifted. That's not possible, he repeated, but this time his voice lacked conviction. Maya didn't rush to respond. She let the silence do the work. You're lying, he added, more to himself than to her. Maya reached into her bag calmly and placed a file on his desk. No, she said. I'm correcting you. Adrian hesitated for a fraction of a second before pulling the file toward him. He flipped it open quickly, scanning the documents. Each page made his expression tighten. Legal stamps, dates, signatures, or rather, the absence of one, his. The final signature that would have ended everything was never there. His grip on the paper hardened. This doesn't make sense. I gave clear instructions. To people who work for you, Maya cut in softly. People who follow your orders, people who don't question you. She leaned slightly forward, her voice lowering. But you never confirmed it, yourself. Adrian's chest rose and fell slowly. That was true. He hadn't. Because in his world, once he decided something was done, it was done. Maya straightened again. You erased me in your mind, she continued, but legally I never left. Adrian shut the file slowly, placing it back on the desk with controlled precision. Fine, he said. Then we fix it now. Maya raised an eyebrow. Fix it? Yes, he snapped. We finalize the divorce, Today, whatever it takes. Maya studied him for a moment. Then she shook her head. No. The word hit harder than expected. Adrian frowned. No? I'm not signing anything, she said calmly. His patience cracked. You don't get to refuse. This isn't a negotiation. Maya's gaze sharpened slightly. Everything is a negotiation, she replied. You taught me that. That line lingered. Uncomfortable, too familiar. Adrian leaned back slightly, his eyes narrowing as he reassessed her. You want something, he said slowly. Maya didn't deny it. Of course I do. There it is, he muttered. Name it. Maya took a breath, then walked around the desk, not hurried, not hesitant, until she stood by the window, looking out over the city. The same city he once showed her, the same skyline they had once stared at together when things were different. You built all this, she said quietly. Adrian didn't respond. You always said you would, she continued, that nothing would stop you. He crossed his arms. Get to the point. Maya turned back to him, and when she spoke this time, there was no softness left. I want what's mine. Adrian let out a short, disbelieving laugh. Yours? Yes, she said simply. You have nothing here, he replied. This company, this empire, it's mine. Maya held his gaze. Legally, she said, that's not entirely true. The room went still again. Adrian's expression hardened. Explain. Maya stepped closer again, her voice steady. We got married before you secured your first major contract, she said. Before the company scaled, before the assets multiplied. He didn't like where this was going. You're saying... I'm saying, she cut in, that a portion of everything you built belongs to me. The words landed like a slow, crushing weight. Adrian's jaw clenched. That's not how this works. It is, she said, if the marriage was never dissolved. Silence. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing once before stopping in front of her again. You think you can walk in here and claim half of my company? He asked. Maya tilted her head slightly. I'm not thinking, she said. I'm starting. Adrian's eyes darkened. You're playing a dangerous game. Maya's expression didn't change. No, she said. I'm finishing one. That line hit deeper than he expected, for a brief moment. Dia, past flickered again. Late nights, quiet conversations, promises. He pushed it away instantly. That's not happening, he said firmly. I won't allow it. Maya's lips curved faintly. You don't have to allow it, she replied. The law already does. Adrian slammed his hand lightly against the desk, frustration finally breaking through. You think this will hold up? You think you can just come back after years and take everything? Maya didn't flinch. I didn't come back, she said. I prepared. That word again, prepared. Adrian paused. Something about that word made everything click just slightly. You've been planning this, he said slowly. Maya didn't deny it. Yes. How long? He asked again. This time. She answered. Since the day you left. The air shifted. That wasn't revenge born overnight. That was something else. Something patient. Something built. Adrian stared at her, really seeing her now. Not the woman he once knew, not the woman he left behind, but someone else entirely. What did you do? He asked quietly. Maya met his gaze. I learned, she said. A pause. Then, I watched how you built your world. And I built mine. Adrian's chest tightened slightly. That explained the confidence, the calm, the control. You expect me to believe you built something comparable? He challenged. Maya didn't respond immediately. Instead, she reached into her bag again and pulled out another document. This one she slid across the desk without a word. Adrian looked at it, then at her. Read it, she said. He picked it up slowly. His eyes scanned the page. Then I froze. Then I moved again. Faster this time. His expression shifted, from irritation to confusion to something else entirely. "No?" he muttered. Maya said nothing. Adrian looked up at her sharply. "This is a joke." "It's not," she replied. He looked back down. The document listed ownership, shares, a company name he recognized instantly, a rival, a growing threat in the market over the past few years, one he had been watching closely, one that had been quietly taking pieces of his territory. His grip tightened on the paper. "This company," he said slowly. "You're telling me—" "I own it," Maya finished. Silence. Complete. Heavy. Adrian stared at her like he was seeing a ghost. "That's impossible," he said. "Is it?" she asked. He shook his head, almost in disbelief. "You were a cleaner," she finished for him. He didn't answer, because that's exactly what he was about to say. Maya stepped closer. "And that's all you saw," she said quietly. A pause. Then, "That's why this worked." The realization hit him fully now, not all at once, but enough to understand the scale, enough to feel it. "You've been inside my company," he said slowly. "Yes." "Watching?" "Yes." "Learning?" "Yes." Every answer landed like a nail. Adrian exhaled slowly, trying to process everything at once. "You planned this," he said again, more to himself now. Maya didn't correct him, because it was true. He looked up at her, and for the first time, there was no arrogance left in his eyes, only realization. "You didn't come here to ask for anything," he said. Maya shook her head. "No." A beat. Then, "I came to take it." The words settled into the room like a final verdict. And just like that, the balance of power shifted completely. If you've made it this far, you already know this is no ordinary story. Hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, should Adrian fight back, or has he already lost? Because what's coming next is the part he never saw coming. Adrian stared at her like the air had been pulled out of the room. For the first time in years, he had no immediate move, no quick solution, no control. "You're lying," he said again, but the words sounded weaker now, like he was trying to convince himself. Maya didn't react. She had already said everything that mattered. Adrian dropped the document on the desk, running both hands through his hair as he turned away from her. "This is insane," he muttered. "You expect me to believe you built a rival company capable of competing with me while working here as a cleaner?" Maya's voice came calm, steady. "I didn't build it while working here," she said. "I finished it while working here." He turned back sharply. "What does that mean?" "It means," she said, taking a slow step toward him, "you weren't my starting point." That stopped him. "You were just my target." Silence. Heavy. Adrian's eyes narrowed as he studied her again, this time, not with dismissal, but with calculation. "You're serious," he said. "Yes." "You planned every step." "Yes." "And you think you can take everything from me?" Maya held his gaze. "I don't think," she said quietly. "I know." That confidence, it wasn't empty. It was backed by something he was only beginning to see. Adrian straightened slowly, forcing himself back into control mode. "Even if what you're saying is true," he began, "you're still underestimating me." Maya tilted her head slightly. "Am I?" "Yes," he said firmly. "You may have built something, but this," he gestured around the office, "this is an empire. Connections, influence, power. You can't just walk in and dismantle that." Maya's lips curved faintly. "I'm not dismantling it," she said. A pause. "I'm taking it." Adrian let out a low, humorless laugh. "You really have changed," he said. Maya didn't respond, because that much was obvious. Adrian stepped closer now, his voice dropping. "Let's stop pretending this is about business," he said. "This is personal." Maya met his gaze without hesitation. "Of course it is." "Then say it," he pressed. "Say what? You really want?" Maya's expression hardened slightly. "I already did." "No," Adrian said, shaking his head. "You're hiding behind legal claims and corporate language, but that's not why you're here." A beat. Then, "You're here because I left." The words hung between them. For a brief second, something flickered in Maya's eyes. Adrian saw it, and he pushed. "You're angry," he continued. "You're hurt. You want revenge." Maya exhaled slowly, then shook her head. "No." Adrian frowned. "No?" "I was hurt," she said, "a long time ago." Her voice wasn't emotional. That was what made it heavier. "I was angry," she added. A pause. "But I moved past that." Adrian studied her carefully. "Then why are you here?" he asked. Maya looked at him. And this time, her answer was different. "I'm here because you underestimated me." That landed deeper than anything else she had said. Not emotional, not dramatic, just precise. Adrian's jaw tightened. "That's it?" he asked. "That's enough," she replied. Silence stretched again. Then Adrian let out a slow breath. "All right," he said. "Let's say I believe you." Maya didn't respond. "Let's say you have the legal standing," he continued. "Let's say you have the company, the shares, the leverage." He stepped closer, his voice dropping. "What's your end game?" Maya held his gaze. Then she said it, clearly, without hesitation. "You step down." The words hit like a final blow. Adrian blinked once, processing, then let out a short laugh. "No." Maya didn't react. "That's not happening," he said firmly. "You can push, you can threaten, you can expose whatever you think you have, but I'm not stepping down from my own company." Maya nodded slowly. "I expected that answer." Adrian crossed his arms. "Good. Then we're done here." Maya reached into her bag one last time. Adrian's eyes narrowed. "What now?" She placed a small device on the desk, a tablet. Then she tapped the screen once and turned it toward him. "Now," she said calmly, "you listen." Adrian frowned, but his eyes dropped to the screen. A video. Paused. He hesitated for a second, then pressed play. The room filled with sound, his voice clear, sharp, unfiltered. "I don't care how it gets done, just make it disappear, no traces." Adrian froze. The video continued. Another clip, another conversation, deals, shortcuts, things that were never meant to be recorded, never meant to be seen. His expression changed, completely. He looked up at her slowly. "Where did you get this?" Maya's answer was simple. "I was there." Silence. Adrian's chest tightened. "You've been recording me?" he asked. "No," she said. "I've been observing you." "That's illegal," he snapped. Maya raised an eyebrow. "So is half of what's on that video." That shut him up. The weight of the situation crashed down all at once now, not just personal, not just financially, legal, reputational, total destruction. Adrian turned away, pacing once, twice, then stopping with his back to her. "You wouldn't," he said. Maya didn't respond. He turned back sharply. "You wouldn't release that. You'd destroy everything, including your own stake." Maya looked at him calmly. "You still don't understand," she said. A pause. Then, "I'm not afraid of losing it." That hit differently, because he believed her, and that was the problem. Adrian stared at her, searching for hesitation, for doubt, for anything he could use. There was nothing. "Why?" he asked quietly. Maya held his gaze. "Because I built myself without you once," she said. A beat. "I can do it again." Silence. heavy, final. Adrian exhaled slowly, the fight draining not completely, but enough. He looked at her differently now, not as someone beneath him, not as someone emotional, but as an equal, maybe even a threat greater than he had ever faced. "You've put me in a corner," he said. Maya didn't deny it. "Yes." "And you expect me to just accept that?" he asked. "No," she said. A pause. "I expect you to choose." Adrian's eyes narrowed slightly. "Choose what?" Maya stepped closer one last time, close enough that there was no space left for distance, for avoidance, for denial. "Fight me," she said quietly. "A beat. Or stand beside me." The words lingered, unexpectedly. Adrian blinked slightly. "That's your offer?" he asked. Maya nodded. "Yes." Silence stretched between them, long, tense, full of everything that had been said and everything that hadn't. Adrian looked at her really well this time, not the past, not the cleaner, not the mistake he once believed she was, but the woman standing in front of him now, strong, calculated, unbreakable, and for the first time, he realized something that changed everything. He had never truly known her. A slow breath left him. Then, "What happens if I refuse?" he asked. Maya's expression didn't change. "Then I end you." No emotion, no hesitation, just the truth. The room felt colder. Adrian let out a quiet breath. Then, slowly, a faint, almost reluctant smile appeared on his face. Not amused, not arrogant, but impressed. "You've become dangerous," he said. Maya didn't respond, because she already knew. Another pause, then Adrian straightened and made his decision. "All right," he said quietly. Maya watched him closely. "All right, what?" she asked. Adrian met her gaze, and for the first time, he wasn't trying to overpower her. "I won't fight you," he said. A beat. "I'll work with you." Silence. Maya studied him carefully, searching for deception, for strategy, for manipulation. But what she saw, it was something different. Respect. Finally, "You're serious," she said. "Yes." A pause. "But understand this," Adrian added. "This doesn't make us even." Maya's lips curved faintly. "No," she said. "It doesn't." Another silence, but this one, it felt different. Not hostile, not explosive, but powerful, balanced. Two forces standing on equal ground. Maya picked up the tablet and turned toward the door. "Then let's begin," she said. Adrian watched her as she walked away, and just before she reached the door, he spoke again. "Maya." She paused, didn't turn. "Yes?" Adrian hesitated for a fraction of a second, then, "I should have never underestimated you." Maya's hand rested on the door handle. A small pause, then she said quietly, "You didn't underestimate me." A beat. "You ignored me." And with that, she walked out, leaving behind a man who had just lost everything and gained something far more dangerous, a partner, a rival, a wife he could no longer control. If you made it to the end, you already know this wasn't just a story about love. It was about power, choices, and consequences. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, would you have made the same choice Adrian did? Because sometimes, the person you overlook becomes the one who changes your entire story.